Neil here, welcome race fans, and here is a bit of an update. Now this week has been exhausting. In fact, there's a car exhaust there, if you don't believe me. There it is. That's my weekend job. This week has been exhausting. And boy oh boy, Friday afternoon, I am glad the weekend's here. Worked my backside off. So's everybody here. Pallet wise, so we've been selling pallets, and the last pallet of this batch has just sold. Boy oh boy, has it been a learning curve. So it's the first time I've ever shipped pallets over the course of the last 17th of February it's been going on. So just over 2 weeks, and we were selling pallets. So the theory behind it on this batch of Amazon customer return pallets that we had was very different to how we processed pallets before. Now, me being honest with you guys and telling you how it is, I've got absolutely no problem with transparency. And if you've been following my videos, you might already have a good inkling of what we've been doing. But what I decided to do, as we've been doing this over the last 2 years as a kind of an experiment stroke side business stroke hustle stroke whatever you want to call it, is learning as we've been working through it and trying different things every time to see what works and what doesn't, and then I'm sharing it with you. It's been fascinating. It's been harder than I thought this time round, but what we did, we bought, the last batch we bought was 12 pallets of household and kitchenware, all customer returns, all from Amazon. So whereas before we had kind of processed everything and sold it, either scrapped it, sold it as fully working, brand new or used, because you do get new or used, and then for parts, not working. And so we've done that, but that takes a lot of time and a lot of man hours. So the theory behind this time when we went into it was very, very structured, and I had G helping me as well. So yeah, it was a really defined approach from before they even arrived. So the theory behind this pallet was, we took the top, there were 700 or so items. We took the top 200 items for ourselves. So the top RRP value items. Now, again, we didn't know what state they're in. You get a rough idea, but it doesn't matter. The theory behind this pallet load was take the top 200 items, put to one side, take everything else. Normally, most of what it equated to was anything over £35 RRP was what we skimmed off the top, and anything below we palletized and sold in lump with a complete itinerary. We get, again, look through my old videos and subscribe and like and subscribe. Give me a like, because I only normally say that at the end because I only just remember it, but giving this video a like and actually commenting below, because I love hearing from you guys. I'm trying to reply to everyone, but it gives these up a boost on YouTube to pick up some more peeps watching them. But so we get a full itinerary Excel sheet from the company we buy from, which is B Stock, and it tells us of every single thing in the pallets before we even bid. Now, obviously, when we win it, we get that Excel sheet, and it has everything, unique LPN identifier per item, full everything about the item. And one of the 4 reasons why, I'm not going to go into detail because they're on my other videos, so catch them on those, but of why it's been returned to Amazon. It's not always correct. That's the gamble. So we took the top 200 items off and went, right, this is where we make our money. There we go. Fingers crossed that they're not all trash. And anything around about £35, we've established that we're not going to make much money from doing it on eBay because of the fees, or at least not through our method, because we have limited courier. It's quite expensive. We do next day everything. So again, you could do it if you're on a smaller operation, run into the post office and stuff. So it just didn't fit with our remit. So everything, which was 500 items, it's over 2/3 of the itinerary, was palletized. And that turned out to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what G would do, he would scan every item, they'd pop up on the Excel sheet, he'd look at the RRP, bosh, straight in there. We didn't process them, we didn't open them, we didn't look at them. It was about speed of turnover, bang. And every time he filled a pallet, he would take photos, he would keep the Excel sheet of exactly what was in it, give it to me, I would list it. Dang, dang, dang. So over the last sort of 2 and a bit weeks, we've done that. eBay, I've experimented with various things. I've experimented with buy it now. I've experimented with putting them on marketplace. I've experimented with, well, they were all buy it now, but 99p no reserve. I've experimented with 7 day, 5 day, 3 days, and I'm still learning. So I haven't really analysed exactly what's going to work and what's not going to work, but that's what we've done. So let's have a look. And now these, because the hinges that we'll put our time into those top 200 items, they're the ones that, with fingers crossed, are going to be worth the money and worth putting on our eBay and selling, and that's where the profit will be made. Our break even is 3.5 grand. That was including VAT and including shipping. Shipping was 600 or 700 quid. VAT was similar, 500 quid. Okay, so 3.5k breaks us even. Yes, we claim the VAT back, but obviously we pay VAT on everything we sell. So we sold pallets. Now the pallets themselves, boy oh boy, it's been hard. Now, more time consuming than I thought and trickier than I thought. And the noise you just heard was the last pallet. No, not the last pallet, the penultimate pallet leaving today. Last one leaves Monday. I've used Pallet to Ship. Great website, really easy to use, but quite expensive. I found 20 to 30 quid per pallet, more expensive than getting a local company to do it. But I've been trying to onboard with a local company for 2 weeks now. And it took 10 days to actually get them to give me some sort of tariff and prices. And then I have a load of paperwork and forms to fill out and company references and all manner of things. So it's ongoing. I went to another company in the end because they were instantly responsive to the forms. It took me 10 days to chase the other one. But anyway, it gives me options because I'll on board with both. But it means I can save money and I can pass that on because I just charge what yeah. Anyway, so the first pallet charged, sold, £235. Second one sold for 320, but in the end, because they wanted it delivered to them, it was 395. So next pallet, £165. No, actually, there's a story behind this one, and this is the real kicker. This was the pain one. In fact, this might be a new video. Sold a pallet. They came and picked up pretty quickly. It sold for 205, but I had to refund £40, and that was a sore time for me. That's a story for the next video. So another pallet sold for 260. They picked up almost instantaneously, so it's 260 that went out. And somebody that bought one of the first pallets snapped up another pallet, got it for a bargain, 175, and it came to 256 with shipping. Now the interesting thing about this is that each pallet, all the pallets apart from one, were around about £1,500 worth of RRP. I put the weight. We supplied the listings. If you've seen our eBay, you'll see that they all had the Excel listings, so anybody bidding on them could see exactly what they were buying. Oh no, that said, with another pallet, it was 7 pallets in the end. One sold for 400, which was real top end. So considering they're roughly the same value overall, people would have looked through that Excel sheet, looked through the reasons, because we supplied exactly what we get, LPN code, listing of exactly what it is, all that stuff, and why it was returned to Amazon. So they were randomly processed and put in these pallets, and it just so happened that the values all kind of timed out. They're all timed, relatively equal. So I guess some people would have gone through it and gone, that's worth more to me than another one. That's why one went for about £400 and one went for, about £200. But for me, it was more about the journey and learning, and this is how I see it. It's a nice stretch to get to that break-even point. So where are we at? I mean, fees really do take a chunk out of it, but let's go on the prices of the pallets minus shipping, because the shipping cost me 235, 320. So that's 555, 310. That's 865, 205. Oh, by 865, £1,505. I think it's £1,505. And then the pallet for 400, £1,905 in the bank. But there's taxes and fees. I bet there was probably a stonking 10% on fees of that. So there's about 200 fees, and then the VAT off that. So we're probably about £1,500. VAT off of the original sale price means I'm about 50% to break even. I was hoping to be closer. If I'm 100% honest, out of 7 pallets, I was hoping to be closer. I'm not pleased, because this is an experiment at the end of the day. Yes, I don't want to lose money on this experiment. I want to be making money, but I still have faith in the 200 items that are still left to be processed. And A, they're higher value, so if they're working, they're worth more. Even if they're worth parts, they're worth more. Remember, this stuff, RRP would have been 35 maximum. Even if it's fully working, I don't know, open box product, the way we've got it set up, we'd be selling for between 50 and 70% of our RRP and fees. So they really wouldn't, I guess these items really wouldn't have gained us a great deal of income. If I'm being honest, it's really reliant on the top slice. At least that's what it's meant to bring in. So interesting times. I know that G is starting to work through the 200 top level items, and I will be back on the next video for the story behind, well, 2 of the pallets that have been my absolute ball ache this week. But I'm not going to go on for long because this is around about a 10-minute video. But so that is what we've done on this batch of this small lorry load, 12 pallets so far, by selling by the pallet. It's been hard work. Like and subscribe, and keep an eye out for the next video, because I'll go into a little bit more detail about how the shipping these pallets has kicked my backside a bit. I'm Neil. I'm looking forward to the end of the day and for the weekend. Catch you guys soon. Drop any questions below. I'll be happy to answer.